Let's see. Ooh, one of the biggest things that I learned from nursing and my career is time management. Time management. So, as you guys know, it is very important that a lot of the healthcare things that we do as nurses, as healthcare providers, is that we keep a schedule of things as they should be done. For instance, medications have a specific schedule because their effectiveness has a length of time that they are digested in our body, a length of time that they are effective in our body, and a length of time for them to be cleared from our body after they're being done or after their use has been done. When it comes to laboratories, when it comes to taking blood, those have a schedule as well because we want to see how long it takes for something to happen or change in the blood. It want to know how effective the medications we're giving are being or are in our systems. We want to know how the electrolytes change over time based off of the disease processes and if they're following a path that we are aware of. So that has a schedule as well. Diagnostics, EKGs, anything that you can think of that we do in the hospital has a schedule. Even wiping butt, we have a schedule for wiping butt and for turning and positioning, for making sure that people don't develop pressure ulcers, for laying in the bed for too long. There's a schedule for everything. And what that means is Wally runs around like a chicken without a head. Nah, never that. There is something that we do at work called cluster care. And what that means is we plan our nights out, or our shifts. Let me not say nights because not everybody works night shift. We plan our shifts out in a way that we don't have to be in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out of the room. But we do everything we can at one time and we give them a rest. And then when we're back, we do everything we can at that time and we give them a rest, and so on and so forth. So it doesn't burn us out. We keep a good schedule and it allows rest for the patient. Super 3 important. That wasn't words. Super important 3 principles that we deal with. For me, it's a lot. There's a lot on my plate. I only have 2 patients, which is great. But sometimes I'm in charge, where I'll have my patients and then I'll be covering for the rest of the unit to make sure that they're chill, that their night is going smoothly, that their patients aren't in distress, and making sure that my nurses aren't in distress. So time management is really important to me. And that cluster care is super duper important. All that is to say, I have an alarm set for everything. I mean, I say that and I feel like people think I have maybe 10 alarms, maybe 20 alarms, maybe 30 alarms. No, I have alarms set for everything. Let's scroll, shall we? I have alarms set for everything. I don't like to forget stuff. And as humans, we are forgetful. It's a way of life. It's impossible to keep a hold of everything if not writing them down. Oh, I got more? You see. So when it's time for me to check on the patient's respiratory, suction their breathing tubes to clear out their lungs if need be, when it's time for me to do mouth care like brush their teeth, because people who are on ventilators are often sedated. They're often sedated to be kept comfortable so they don't breathe too heavy against the vent. So we have to brush their teeth for them because their mouth is open the whole time with the tooth sticking out. Eventually their mouth is going to get funky as all hell. And we have to prevent that. We have schedules for turning to make sure that they don't get pressure injuries. So we turn every 2 hours. I have all of my 2 hours alarms scheduled. We have schedules for when they have to turn off any type of nutrition because they might have a procedure in the morning and they don't want anything in the belly, right? So midnight, I have an alarm for that. We have an alarm for when it's time to change the patients, when it's time to do EKGs, when it's time to do labs. I have an alarm for everything. So I don't forget, not even the most minute. W nurse, I appreciate you. Thank you. But all of that is to say, while I believe and do uphold that my memory is fantastic, I also know that there are parts of me that are human error inevitable. You know what I mean? It is impossible to keep track of everything, especially in a volatile environment like the ICU, where your other colleagues might need your help immediately for something. Now your schedule is thrown off because they needed help. How do you catch back up? It's super important to be able to be adaptable in time management as well. And I think that these would be great videos for people starting your field also. Yeah, that's the game. That's the game. This is going to be geared towards people who are starting careers. This is more so for college students who are starting careers either in healthcare or wanting to get prepped for the career that they are trying to go into. This works for every facet of life. But it's more so a pep talk and an encouragement kind of thing. So that's what I want to use these videos for. But what I was saying, it's super important that we keep track of what we're doing, but also be open for the track to fall. It's super important to be able to be adaptable, to be able to be quick thinking, to be able to be to be able to make decisions quickly. In a situation where a patient is crashing, where their heart rate slows down to beyond where it should be, where their blood pressure starts dipping, there's not a sense of time in those moments. It is save the patient. There is no time to waste. Make the patient, give the patient everything that they need for their best chance of survival. So being adaptable, being prepared with a schedule of time that already makes sense can also allow you to conform your time schedule to adapt to emergency. For example, I had a patient who I got as an admission. Their prognosis was poor, we knew that, but it still didn't mean that my other patient wouldn't get healthcare. You know what I mean? I still had to take care of two people. So in that sense, I knew that I was probably going to be overwhelmed and that my time management wasn't going to be enough to take care of both of those patients. What do? My quick decision, I need help. I need help. I need you to get this for me, please. I need you to bring me this. I can't leave the room right now because this person is super unstable. Can you check on my other patient for me? Can you give my other patients meds real quick? I'm gonna be here, and I know I'm gonna be here. I'm not gonna leave this person's side because they're gonna unalive any minute now. I can't physically do that. So the decision to break my own time management for the sake of a patient's life and livelihood makes more sense. But for someone who is solid with time management but not able to adapt, it breaks. Because I have people who I work with who are super diligent with their time schedule, but the moment emergency happens, everything breaks down. And I think it's not only important but necessary to be able to adapt to shifts in our time management. So yeah, I would say the most important takeaway when it comes to time management is prepare to be unprepared. And I say that to say, allow yourself a schedule so that you can account for all of the parts of you that are not perfect, but create room for the things that happen that are out of our control. That's life. Life is unexpected. But if we have an idea of what could happen, we prepare for things that may happen, we'll never be caught unawares. That's simply it. That's simply it. That's all I got to say about that. You feel me?